Welcome to Clash Corner, your daily dose of chaos.
I paid for an escort to spend time with my virgin friend. I paid for an escort to spend time with my friend who was still a virgin at 28. I thought I was helping. I was wrong. For the record, I had nothing against my friend being a virgin at that age, but he was beginning to behave like someone who blamed everyone else for his problems. He made it seem like women hated him, even though he never bothered to get to know any women. I was getting sick of listening to him complain about almost being a 30-year-old virgin, so I joked about paying someone to spend time with him. He was laughing at first, but then he asked enough questions afterwards to convince me that he might be interested in an arrangement like that. I decided to set it up for real. My friend reluctantly allowed me to share his contact information with the escort service as soon as I showed him pictures of the woman I selected. I did my part. A date was set, payment was made, all my friend had to do was show up. I received several sporadic calls from my friend throughout the evening that made me feel like I should never have done this. Call 1. He wanted to know if it was a good idea to take care of himself before she showed up so he could last longer. I encouraged him to leave things alone and let the outcome be whatever it ends up being. My stupid jokes made him laugh and managed to relax him a little. Mission accomplished. Or so I thought. Call 2. He wanted to know if he could send me a photo so I could tell him if he looked good enough. I said I didn't want to see that. He promised it would be a certain kind of photo to make the whole thing less awkward. I said it was gonna be awkward either way before repeating that I did not want to see it. Call 3. He wanted to apologize for sending me the photo anyway, but he also wanted feedback since he sent it. I told him to stop calling. I ignored calls 4 and 5, which prompted him to send me messages to please answer my phone. Call 6. He said he was thinking of calling off the whole thing because his bed apparently had a huge dent in the middle, which was unsuitable for what was supposed to happen. I suggested he flip the mattress on the other side or use the couch, but to cancel because of a dent in the mattress that never bothered him before sounded like an excuse to back out. Call 7. He wanted to know what kind of food escorts usually eat because he made spaghetti. I asked if he was asking me what kind of food people eat because escorts were not a different species. He said most people he knew enjoyed spaghetti. I asked if there was anything else he wanted to know because I wanted him to stop calling. He said the next time he called, it would be to debrief. Call 8. He wanted me to know that he was spying on the escort through his bedroom window while she was talking to one of his neighbors outside. He said based on their body language it was clear that the two of them knew each other. I asked if he was no longer a virgin. He said he struggled to get it up and subsequently gave up, and now he was watching the escort laughing about it with his neighbor. I said that's probably not what was happening. He said he was thinking of going out there and confronting them. I advised him against it, but he hung up. Call 9. The call came from me this time. No answer. Call 10. I called again a few minutes later. My friend finally answered the phone and said the escort left in a ride share when he eventually made it outside with the intention of inserting himself in their conversation. He said he asked his neighbor how he knew the woman who just left and the neighbor said he was one of her first clients. According to the neighbor, he was going through a divorce at the time after spending years in a marriage with no intimacy, so the first thing he did to fix that was to be with a younger woman. My friend asked me if I was willing to pay for his therapy too because not only did he fail at the whole thing, but now his neighbor knew they had been with the same escort. I said I was just trying to help. My friend thanked me, albeit sarcastically, and said goodbye. I think he's ghosting me now. Was I wrong for trying to help?
Ready for more? Here comes Clash number 2.
My ex lost everything when he chose her. I was married to someone who cheated on me and chose the other woman in October 2024. I moved out and filed for divorce right away. Today, about a year and a half later, I found out that the house we used to live in together was sold. I was married to someone who cheated on me and chose the other woman in October 2024. I moved out and filed for divorce right away. Today, about a year and a half later, I found out that the house we used to live in together was sold. We had been renting it from his mother. And of all people, it was sold to the one cousin he really dislikes. That house was never just a house to them. I understood that almost immediately when I moved in. It was incredibly important to my ex and his mother. That house held his whole childhood. His mother and father built it together from the ground up. They moved in as a young family and raised 2 little boys there. Then when my ex was 10 and his brother was 8, their father was killed in a car accident. So that house held both the happiest years of their family and the worst loss of their lives. It held their dad. It held his memory. The basement was still full of his tools, untouched, left almost exactly as they had been the day he died. My ex had told me many times that he never wanted that house sold. He wanted to live in it. He wanted his son to live in it after him. He wanted that physical connection to his father and his childhood to remain intact. The plan had always been that I would eventually buy it from her so it could stay in the family, so we could live there as long as we wanted, and one day leave it to his little son, whom I loved deeply and still love deeply. His mother is retired, and for years I paid the property taxes and other bills tied to that house. So when he ended our marriage for another woman, and I was no longer there paying those expenses, they clearly could not keep up with the taxes, utilities, heating, and everything else. The house they were emotionally attached to, the house they wanted to keep forever, became unaffordable. And they lost it within a year. To a cousin who my ex really dislikes. It tells me that everyone lost something because of his affair. Not just me. His mother lost every last memory of her beloved husband, including his little work area and tools that nobody had touched in 26 years. His little son lost his grandfather's house that I absolutely would have gifted to him. The saddest part is that I never would have let my ex lose that home for anything. I knew how much that would break his heart, and I would have sacrificed whatever I had to allow him to keep the house. So I feel sad for him today. Maybe that sounds irrational. The first installment of consequences has arrived. Life truly has a way of coming back around. Would you feel sad for him too, or is that just me?
The chaos doesn't stop. Clash number 3.
I told my daughter's ex that she's been secretly taking their son to see his homophobic family. I told my daughter's ex that she's been secretly taking their son to visit the family that disowned him for being gay. My daughter and her ex, Ryan, are both 26 now. When they were 18, my daughter got pregnant. They moved into an apartment together and started raising their little family. They never got married, but Ryan's family pressured them to do it often. Multiple times I heard them say those two need to stop living in sin. The issue started a year ago when Ryan was caught cheating, and it came out that he is gay. The breakup was extremely messy, and in the end, custody was split 50-50. Ryan's family is really religious, and when they learned Ryan was gay, they disowned him. I was at my daughter's place helping her move out when I heard Ryan's mother call him a slur. So his family is really awful people. After he was disowned, for some reason, they thought he would give them access to the grandbaby. He basically told them to forget it. I know about this because they contacted me once to let them see the kid while I was babysitting. I told them no. The 50-50 custody has been a bit rough for my daughter. It's hard for her not to have her kid for major events. For example, Ryan had custody during Easter, but he agreed to let my daughter have their son that day so they could celebrate with my side of the family. My daughter was over to pick up some stuff, and she showed me pictures from her latest weekend trip. In the picture, there was Ryan's mom and his 2 siblings. I asked what this was about, and she told me that she's been taking the kid to see them for a few months now. I asked if Ryan knew, thinking maybe they had gotten back in contact, and she told me no. I told her that it was horrible to do. That they are bigots and disowned their kid. She got defensive, and it went into an argument. She defended taking her kid around people who are homophobic, and I told her I was disgusted by what she was doing. I informed Ryan. He thanked me, and now my daughter is really angry. Ryan apparently is refusing to be lenient anymore with custody. So no more getting the kid on days that aren't hers, even if my daughter wants them for some event. Was I wrong to tell him?
Another clash is on the way. Here's number 4.
My wife wants a divorce because she found out about my ex's background. I've been married for 2 months, and suddenly my ex became a topic for a month now. My wife has been really upset, and now she's threatening divorce. I've been married for 2 months, and suddenly my ex became a topic for a month now. I have no idea why this came up in the first place. Probably popped up on social media. My wife has been really upset. She said she's disgusted by me dating this woman she calls low class. For background, my ex came from a poor family. Grew up without a father, single mom raising her. She is now earning quite well. She had some habits that I didn't like, which is why I broke up with her. My wife is from an upper middle class family. She's been a top student from kindergarten to university. She earns higher than my ex. She is a woman who always improves herself. Has a strong family culture. I came from a middle-class family. Earning well too. I am a stubborn guy though. I grew up with my grandparents as my parents were working abroad. Studied in private schools from start to finish. They never met. I barely told my wife anything about my ex. She has been on and off about this topic, threatening divorce, or seeing other men that are of higher quality than me, just because she thinks my ex is low class. She said she's disgusted by me that I even considered dating that woman. She doesn't want me to touch her or even be near her. I am going crazy. I can't do anything because it's in the past. She's saying I don't understand her. What is it exactly that I don't understand? I am confused. I also don't want the divorce. I have also said maybe she's jealous, and she got even more angry and said it's confirmed that I don't understand her. What am I actually missing? Does it really matter to some people about the class status their partner has dated? I have a therapist appointment because I don't know if I have mental health problems now. Does class status really matter this much to some people? What am I missing here?
Chaos overload. Let's wrap up this final clash.
I supported my government for years until one trip changed everything. I supported my government for years. Then I visited my sister abroad, and everything I believed just fell apart. I've been a government supporter since 2022. My eyes opened 6 months ago when I visited a country in Europe. When the conflict began, I protested against it at first. I went outside, got confronted by the police, and decided it wasn't worth it. So I kind of shut up and went on with my life. Over the next few months, I began to feel different about the situation. I started reading pro-government channels and watching supportive bloggers. I moved away from Western media because, as much as I disliked our government, they painted my country's people as a nation consisting entirely of negative stereotypes, especially on certain online forums. I don't know how to describe it. It was just very unpleasant to read as someone from my country. So I distanced myself from it even further when the Internet Surveillance Agency began blocking certain websites. More months passed, they turned into years, and I'd been supportive of the government for several years. That is, until I visited my sister, who married someone from another country. When I got there, it was like a curtain over my eyes just disappeared. You can guess how my country's media paints other places. How all people from the other side are terrible, and how wonderful it is to live in such a great country as mine. What I saw was the complete opposite of that. I saw the quality of life, the way people lived, the clean streets, delicious food. I just fell in love with the place. I had a great time, spoke to great people, even made friends with someone from the other country at a train station. I returned home with a cognitive dissonance. It was really tough to realize that you've been fed misleading information without you even realizing it. I've been studying a new language ever since I came back, and I guess what I want to say is that I'm deeply, deeply sorry. I was scared at how stealthily propaganda worked its way into my head. I want to say sorry to everyone that maybe recognizes my username from political forum comments. To amazing people who are fighting tooth and nail for their freedom and country. I've been a jerk, and I sincerely apologize for it. I'm now aiming to move abroad through a work visa program, and I hope I make it. Have you ever had a moment that completely changed how you saw the world?
That was today's chaos. See you at the next clash. Don't just watch the clash, join the corner. Subscribe now.